My name is Joshua Haynes. I live in Parish Court on Phillip Street, 333, and I'm an old man. So, I was gonna cover these comments at the school board meeting that's coming up for the school merger, where public gets a chance to comment. And I don't know if y'all are familiar, but it has to make it past the school boards before it comes before the governing boards. If even one board fails to approve it, it dies, okay? So I was gonna wait, but there was something posted online today that got me pretty riled up, and so I feel the need to respond to that. Now, I would like to speak on behalf of Area School Consolidation. As someone who has been involved in Covington City government for several years, and as someone who has closely followed and to a certain extent been involved in the school consolidation efforts, I am fully aware of the ramifications for the city of Covington if consolidation fails. The Covington City school system is currently the city's Covington highest yearly bill. In fact, the bill in number 2 slot is less than half what the city spends on schools, and funding for schools is continually going up. As school properties gain age, requirements for student success expands, and educators continue to demand higher pay, the amount of funding needed will continue to rise. By the way, about educator pay raises, Covington City school teachers have received 2 or 3 pay raises in the time since the last pay raise occurred for anyone else drawing a paycheck from the city. And while teachers are important and fill an important role, so do police officers, sanitation workers, wastewater treatment plant, landfill, and parks and rec employees, city department heads, and city hall staff and city council. Failure to consolidate schools at this time will lead to, in the very near future, an unsustainable school system for our city. Now, I've heard a lot of argument from the general public in opposition to the merger, but I am privy to information that is not secret, but that is rarely sought out by the general public. I am privy to this information because I have taken an interest in our city, and I have been present at any meeting that I can to learn all that I can. I've had multiple conversations with multiple forms of leadership in this community at many different levels. I've been in positions of leadership in this community myself and plan on continuing to do so. And just to say it, all the false, uninformed, belittling, and sometimes ignorant comments that I've seen and heard concerning area school consolidation are coming from members of the community that I have never seen in a meeting of any kind, that I have never had a conversation with about any local issue. It is my opinion that knowing all the facts before offering your comments or opinions on any given subject is important, and that you should take the time to actually attend meetings, perform the research, and learn about the issues before making said comments or asking said questions. The simple fact remains that from a city finance perspective, continuing to fund our school system at its current level with the continual decline in both population and city revenues and a stagnant economy is virtually impossible. If the Covington City school system continues to be a standalone system, it will fail, unless one of 2 things happens, or perhaps even both. Those 2 things being a cut in offered services and a significant raise in taxes, period. You can argue with me all day long about which school to use as the high school, what the mascot should be, or even why you were opposed to school consolidation altogether. But if you understood what I understand, you would know better. Let me offer you this. Currently, the city's number 2 source of revenue comes from the machine and tool tax, collected off of the city's taxable portion of the mill, second only to the real estate tax. However, there has been a constant push at the state capitol for a number of years to repeal Virginia's machine and tool tax. That repeal is seen as a great recruiting tool in garnering potential industry for more prosperous regions of our state, like say Northern Virginia, which unlike Covington, whom this tax repeal would utterly destroy, would come with little to no negative repercussions for said communities. Now think about this. If the Covington City school system is the city's number 1 bill, and the tax generated from the machine and tool tax garnered from the mill is its number 2 source of income, what happens if that source of income is eliminated? It's simple numbers. I would be inclined to think that the difference to maintain even our current level of service would have to be made up by a very steep incline in either the real estate tax or some other tax paid by citizens. That difference is currently being paid by the mill. This issue for the city, to me, really boils down to only one principle. The same principle each of us deal with in our individual homes, month after month, year after year. What's going out versus what's coming in. If your wife loses her job, how do you pay the mortgage? If you take an income loss or loss of savings due to unexpected emergencies, what expenses do you eliminate? If bills are going up and income is remaining the same, what do? How do you adjust? Citizens are allowing emotions and mob rule to lead over common sense and truth. And with local platforms like the Alleghany Journal, they are given an opportunity to make any ridiculous comment, any unfounded claim, or any ludicrous, hurtful, or derogatory statement they wish. They are uninformed, they go unchecked, unverified, and unsubstantiated. Much of the commentary is outright untrue. And unfortunately, it has a tendency to falsely sway public opinion. In fact, I very recently saw Mr. Steve Dresser was given an interview platform with which to express his objections to the school merger. But where are the interviews of those in favor of it? And while Mr. Dresser seems like a decent guy, I've never seen him at a council meeting. I've never seen him at a council work session. I've never seen him at a city budget hearing. I've never seen him at a budget work session. He really has no idea from a city standpoint the reality of this situation. He kept insisting consolidation means condensing. That is not what it means at all. Webster's dictionary defines consolidation as the process of making something stronger and more solid. The action or process of combining a number of things into a single, more effective and coherent whole. Think about it. When corporate America merges two companies like Disney and Pixar, or AOL and Time Warner, those companies do not get smaller. They get larger and better. Then when asked by the interviewer how he thought that a small school like Covington could continue to be supported at the current level with financial conditions in the city without a significant tax hike, he replied, the answer to that question is until the time comes, don't worry about it. What? Don't worry about it? This man is tasked with teaching our children, okay? Openly saying that we should not prepare for an inevitable disaster until it's actually too late. I'm appalled. Please do not buy in. Please do not fall in line. Keep in mind that leaders are elected and appointed to make decisions, to give attention and effort to issues that the rest of us rely on but have no time for, or are often not passionate enough about to dedicate our own efforts towards. You are tasked with deciding what is best for the people, tasked with making decisions that are often controversial, decisions that will always have support on both sides. And often you have to make the right decisions based on what is best for your citizenry and community, even if the majority of them are opposed due to lack of information or a false sense of understanding. Most things in life worth doing aren't done easily, and nearly all progress in human history has been met with opposition. In addition, whatever you all decide will be dropped in the laps of my generation. So please do not leave us with an avoidable mess. If it gets to you and there's a vote for school consolidation, please vote to pass it. Thank you.